So, to make the situation more calm, because we do have a lot of people here, it would just be nice if you guys could leave, but we aren't. I can't wait on you guys. I have no idea. I'm not in the situation, but she, just to make it more calm, she said, you guys can calmly leave because we do have a lot of people around, or the police will be on their way, because they are. So.
But why do we have to leave? We just came to order food.
Yeah, of course.
I don't understand. What do we do?
I don't know.
That's not right, man.
We was planning on leaving, but we wanted to wait for the police to get here because we wanted her name.
Yeah, she didn't want to give us her name.
Because we want to submit a complaint.
Okay.
She refused to give us her name.
Yeah, she doesn't have to give her name.
But she works here, right? We waiting for a manager. Right?
Okay, yeah.
Do they have a manager on hand?
Did you guys do anything? No, we don't have a manager in today. They're all off because they've been working all week.
If I leave and the police get here, she could just come up and say anything. I try to rob them.
Yeah, I know. Did you guys do anything to disturb her or disturb any customers?
No, when she walked by,
yes.
I said, excuse me, because it seemed like she was,
Oh, yeah, it's really busy today.
So. No, obviously.
Yeah.
So, I said, excuse me, because he's been sitting here for 15 minutes.
Yeah, of course.
So, when she left, she came back with the menus, and she said, well, I don't want to be yelled at.
Yeah.
And I said, I didn't yell at you. I was simply, can we talk outside real quick? Yo, record this.
I am.
Can we talk outside real quick? Just outside here.
It's crazy. They're refusing to serve us. That's crazy. That's crazy. They're refusing to serve
us. Two truckers who obviously created no disturbance, simply requested to be served, had another waitress sent to their table. That was not the original waitress you saw in the video. That waitress was sent to the table to tell them to leave. They questioned, why are we being told to leave? Then this narrative starts. That narrative leads to the police being called on them for creating no disturbance. Once again, these are truckers who simply wanted to eat. Then we spoke with these truckers. Here it is.
So he goes, excuse me, we're ready to place our order. And she goes, I don't like you yelling at me. He didn't yell. He wasn't rude. Nobody was out of the ordinary. And then he goes, I just wanted to say we're ready to place our order. And then she goes, well, I don't need you people calling me over to this table like that. Then after that, he said, but I saw that you serving other people, and we just want to let you know that we're ready to place our order. Because like we said, we're not thinking racism or anything like that. So then she goes, you know what? I'm not serving you people. You need to get your stuff now and go. I'm calling the police. And then she snatches the menus out of our hands.
It was just unexpected. It's just something that we weren't ready for. I surely wasn't ready. We went in there, wanting to place orders just like any other place. You go to, you walk into, you walk into a place to place an order, and we were just blindsided by it.
Yeah, these are good-hearted individuals who had absolutely nothing in them but a hungry stomach. That's it. Nothing else. Fast forward. Who called 911? That was a question. Who called 911? Well, we were able to obtain the 911 tape exclusively at Indisputable. Here it is. Well, obviously, everyone is under the impression that the waitress called 911. That is not the case. We have the 911 recording. Here it is.
Hey, Sarah, I was hoping to have an officer dispatched to our restaurant. We have a couple guests who are unruly and are refusing to leave.
Okay, what's the address?
5201 North Granite Lane in Sioux Falls.
Okay, is that Denny's?
Yeah.
Okay. What's the phone number you're calling from?
cool.
Okay. Are they being violent or have any weapons on them?
Not to my knowledge. So I'm the regional manager. I'm actually getting ready to head in there. I'm about 20 minutes out. But the team called me and they said they just like very confrontational and argumentative and like refused to leave the building and just harassing the team and kind of following them around the restaurant.
Okay. Do you know what they look like or how many of them there are?
Just 2 guys, African American guys. That's all I really know.
Okay. What is your name?
At the moment, there's one with the, what was that? I'm sorry.
What's your name?
Mike Fletcher.
Okay. And they're both still inside the restaurant?
Correct.
Okay. Okay, we'll have officers stop out. Just give a call back if anything changes.
Will do. All right, thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Bye-bye.
Mr. Fletcher is the one who called the police. He was not at the scene. He says that himself. He's on the way to the restaurant. He's the manager of that particular Denny's. Come to find out, further investigation revealed that Mr. Fletcher is a significant other of the waitress who had the alleged encounter in the first place. So the commentary that he provided about the character and demeanor of these men could not have been accurate based on the fact he was not even there in the first place. Now, in an update to this story, we'll put it up full mass. This is your update. A $4 million lawsuit has been filed. They are represented, Damon, Whitfield, and Hector Madera, they're represented by attorney Erica Wilson, national civil litigator and frequents court television, court TV. She's representing the 2 black cross-country truck drivers in a federal lawsuit. The federal lawsuit filed this month alleging these 2 truckers were denied service and harassed at a Denny's restaurant in Sioux Falls, South Dakota. Each man is seeking damages of $4 million. In the days and weeks that followed the incident, the men, stunned by the experience of overt racism, as they called it, called local and corporate Denny's representatives to complain, seeking a public apology, and that is all. They told attorney, not attorney, they told Indisputable host me, Rashad Richey, podcast in September 2023, they got no satisfaction, according to that interview. Whitfield said, though after the incident, top executives from a company called Pilot Flying J and Denny's called him to personally apologize. So in that interview, they made it very clear. They literally tried to just seek an administrative apology for how they were treated. They left messages, they sent correspondence. Nobody from Denny's responded. Nobody. And that is when they decided to escalate it more. September 4th, 2023, Denny's released a public statement from Roland Sponberg, the president and chief executive officer of WKS Restaurant Group, which owns and operates more than 100 Denny's locations nationwide, including the one in South Dakota that the gentlemen were at. They said that Denny's is committed to a culture of inclusion and excellence for all guests, and noted that the company had conducted a, quote, thorough third-party investigation into the incident, and that as a result, the franchise owner had fired Fletcher, okay? The CEO further stated that, quote, Denny's maintains a strict zero-tolerance policy when it comes to any form of discrimination. We acknowledge there were opportunities to improve the service level in this specific situation. We maintain our commitment to ongoing training and development of all staff. The employees at the location will immediately go through a dedicated training program to ensure the team delivers above and beyond our guests' expectations. We regret this incident and want to apologize to the guests involved. Clearly, we fell short of our own standards that day and are committed to making it right. So on Indisputable. Whitfield called the statement a half apology. More needs to be done, he said. We've made progress in race relations, but how far have we gotten, he asked. And further observed, you can't train a racist. A racist is a racist. That's deep rooted. I feel as though they took a piece from us that day, one said on the show. They took something that we can't get back. It's kind of degrading. They robbed us. They tried to rob us of our humility and dignity and self-worth and respect. I believe it's unfair. I want them to be held accountable. Their amended lawsuit filed July 17th in the U.S. District Court for South Dakota accuses Denny's Corporation, its franchise WKS Restaurant Group, the Pilot Flying J gas station, and Fletcher and Michael Fletcher of explicit racial discrimination in violation of federal civil rights law. The plaintiffs were denied their right to make a contract with Denny's by purchasing food and denied their right to a public accommodation to sit in and enjoy the restaurant as other white customers were doing. When Ann Fletcher refused to serve them, and when Michael Fletcher summoned the police on the false pretext that they were unruly patrons, the lawsuit claims. The defendants mistreated them while acting with discriminatory intent, in denial of their federally and constitutionally protected rights, causing them public embarrassment and humiliation, severe emotional distress, mental pain and suffering, and injury to dignity and the complaint contends. They seek a jury trial to determine compensatory general and special damages of no less than $4 million for each plaintiff, as well as punitive damages in an amount that will punish the defendant's conduct and to discourage others from engaging in similar discrimination in the future. One of the lead counsel, once again, Erica Wilson, civil rights attorney at the Fairness Firm, said in an Instagram post in 2023 that she is the daughter and granddaughter of truck drivers and knows the sacrifices these men make daily to be able to provide for their families. Reported Sioux Falls Argus leader. Wilson also wrote that she was disheartened that her clients were reduced to common criminals for merely wanting to grab breakfast so they could get back to work. Quote, "It is absolutely ridiculous that we are in 2023 and the video you may have seen felt like it was 1953, she said. The defendants have 21 days after being served with the plaintiff's amendment complaint filed July 17th or until August 7th to file a response in the U.S. District Court of South Dakota. And my sources tell me that they did attempt to have a conversation with Denny's, but Denny's did not budge on a very small, and some saw it as a symbolic gesture rather than a real attempt at remedy and restoration. So we shall bring the update to that lawsuit as it continues. All right, Jordan, thoughts here?
Yeah, I am rooting for them, and also credit to you and kudos to you for following this story, not just covering it when it first broke, but the routine updates, I think, were instrumental in helping them in their pursuit of justice. So thank you to you and the show and everyone who works on it for stories like this. There's one thing I want to point out here. As we see the right and Trump and this broader conservative culture war against DEI, this is the consequence, right? As we all know, the core tenets of diversity, equity, and inclusion make for a better America. And the risk here, if you want to look at it purely from a corporate risk, is scenarios like this, where you have ill-prepared employees or workers, public-facing people, jeopardizing your company here by engaging in racist behavior. All we're saying is, hey, maybe there should be some level of education or training to prepare everyone for how to respond in some sort of situation like this. And we know the long-term benefits is a more equitable society. The right can't stand that. They want to create, by attacking DEI, critical race theory, things that we know lead to a better future. By doing that, they are explicitly saying, we want discrimination. We want to be able to discriminate against people we don't like based on how they look or who they are. They ultimately are fighting for a segregated society. So it's important that news outlets, that higher education institutions, everybody fights back against this attack on DEI from the right.
Yeah, and that's right. So we shall see what the pushback is from Denny's, if any. And hopefully these two gentlemen receive the justice that they deserve. Guaranteed the saga is not over.